because the world is full of idiots that don't understand what's important, and they'll tear us apart, Morty. But if you stick with me, I'm gonna accomplish great things, Morty.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Cartoon Countdown, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 rejected cartoons that became successful. Number 10, The Proud Family. Before finding a home on Disney, this comedic family series was considered for two other networks. The show was originally being developed by rival kids channel Nickelodeon. Despite producing a pilot, the network ended up never moving forward with the project. However, a Disney representative who had seen the pilot expressed interest. The concept was considered for Disney's One Saturday Morning on ABC before finally landing at the company's network for children.
Friday has an exit sign, getting there still takes some time.
After 2 seasons, the show inspired a movie and a follow-up series that premiered on Disney Plus in 2022. Number 9, Pepper Ann. If you were a kid between 1997 and 2011, it's likely you used to wake up on Saturday and watch the morning programming block on ABC. Originally called Disney's One Saturday Morning, Pepper Ann was among the first of its cartoons to be aired. Show creator Sue Rose actually began developing the series with a Nickelodeon executive named Linda Semensky, but the network lost interest in the cartoon when Semensky left for Cartoon Network. Rose eventually ended up bringing the project to Disney, where she was able to hire her friends as writers. As the company's first woman to create an animated series, she developed a host of relatable female characters previously unseen on television. Number 8, Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Darren Nefsey is only the third woman to create an animated television series for Disney. Her fantastical show features a princess with magical powers and her life as a foreign exchange student on Earth. Originally, the creator pitched a slightly different version of the show to Cartoon Network. However, the channel rejected her series and sent Nefsey back to the storyboard. She continued to make tweaks before pitching her story to Disney. After company executives gave their suggestions, she made the final changes that led to the show fans love. The first 3 seasons premiered on Disney XD, and the 4th and final one came out on Disney Channel. Number 7, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Creator Maxwell Adams first used Billy and Mandy as characters in his college thesis. Once employed as an animator, he pitched a short film to Hanna-Barbera executives that also included the fictional kids. The 2 characters were the highlight of the pitch, so Adams was encouraged to create a story that centered around them befriending the devil. When he brought the revised short to Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, only the latter was willing to greenlight the show.
Congratulations, and welcome to Cartoon Network, Billy and Mandy.
But company executives didn't approve of the devil as a character. This led to the Grim Reaper being swapped in instead. In 2000, the short film won Cartoon Network's Big Picks viewer poll. It was a segment of the show, Grim and Evil, before becoming its own series. Number 6, The Ghost And Molly McGee. Having already worked together on other series, seasoned writers Bill Motz and Bob Roth together conceived of a show called The Curse of Piper McGee in 2007. Despite being longtime Disney employees, the creators pitched the show to Nickelodeon only to be rejected. They ended up spending time on other projects and reworking the pitch for years. After signing an overall deal with Disney, the pair pitched the story again, this time to their bosses.
He's so gross. Give me more!
Luckily, it was approved and put into production. 14 years after first being conceived, the cartoon finally made it to air. The show has received praise from critics and audiences over its premise and optimistic titular character. Number 5, The Amazing World of Gumball. Ben Bocale was working for Cartoon Network Studios Europe when they invited their employees to suggest cartoon ideas. He then assembled a cast of his characters that were previously rejected and came up with a pitch for his employers. After the concept was approved, Bocale went on to develop this show. It uses a variety of animation styles and has a chaotic vibe. In addition to being silly and fun, the series isn't afraid to investigate more serious topics. Not only did it receive critical acclaim, but it also inspired executives to push for a movie. Unfortunately, the film's fate is in limbo as of 2022, but it's impressive to think a bunch of rejected characters starred in a show that made it this far.
This is extraordinarily painful.
Number 4, Phineas and Ferb. The whimsical cartoon was rejected by multiple networks before eventually being picked up by Disney. Its creators Dan Povenmire and Jeff Swampy Marsh met while working as artists for The Simpsons. Together they developed a series beginning with Povenmire's sketch of a character with a triangle-shaped head. When the show wasn't initially greenlit, the animators moved on to other projects and began to grow apart. But Povenmire pitched the series to different networks such as Cartoon Network and Fox Kids whenever he could. He eventually booked a meeting with Disney 16 years after the cartoon's conception. Although the company executives took their time greenlighting the series, it was approved for production in the end. The show is praised for its wit and imagination.
Hey, Candace is rooting for us. Candace, you're on the big screen.
Number 3, Adventure Time. When Pendleton Ward's fantastical cartoon was only a short film, it was broadcasted on Nicktoons Network and went viral online. But the company denied greenlighting a show based on the short 5 separate times. Eventually, the network's rights to the series expired and Ward was free to pitch it to others. Cartoon Network actually saw the potential in the dark comedy. However, it still rejected the first storyboard they were presented with, but the second one was approved. Since its premiere, the television show has received acclaim. In addition to being funny, it's not afraid to investigate darker subjects or push the envelope. This cartoon is enjoyable for the whole family.
Hey man, don't even worry about all this war stuff. I know we'll find a way to fix this thing.
Number 2, South Park. Trey Parker and Matt Stone met during a film class in college. Together, they created a short yet raunchy Christmas-themed stop-motion animation using construction paper. Intrigued by the video, an executive at Fox prompted them to make a second short which went viral.
Here we are, Jesus. South Park Mall. Who are you looking for?
The creators began discussions with the network about adapting the concepts into a full series, but higher-ups did not approve of the character Mr. Hanky. In the end, it was clear it couldn't be made to work with Fox, so Parker and Stone took their project elsewhere. After pitching to both MTV and Comedy Central, they were greenlit by the latter. The show became critically acclaimed. More than 2 decades later, new episodes are still being made. Number 1, Rick and Morty. Channel 101 is a film festival that gives the audience the power to vote for which projects they approve. In the early 2000s, then reality TV producer Justin Roiland submitted a few shorts to the festival, including a twisted parody of Back to the Future. His works were shocking and rejected by audiences. However, Roiland garnered the attention of one of the festival's co-founders, Dan Harmon. When Harmon was asked by Adult Swim to make an animated series, he contacted Roiland for ideas.
So now we're gonna have to go get more. And then we're gonna go on even more adventures after that, Morty.
They decided to use characters from the Back to the Future parody. Doc Smith and Marty became Rick and Morty, and the rest of the show developed around them. While the final product is still off color, it's also highly beloved by fans.
Oh my God, stop explaining! Stop explaining!
Are you finished?